Niklsun here, and welcome to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news, as well as going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. With there being so much information coming out over the past couple of days, I've decided to split this episode into two parts. So the first part, we're going to be dealing with a couple of new topics, and then on the second part, we're going to be seeing a couple of new trailers, as well as the user questions. So bear in mind, there's going to be two parts of the episode, so if you see the time frames are a little different, don't fret or anything like that. I will be having more content coming out later on today. This will be the first episode. We'll have another part later on. So let's get started with it. Now, there was a rumor the other day that came out that stated there might be a brand new or a first look teaser at Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice coming out with certain screenings of Jupiter Ascending coming out in February. Now, originally I thought, okay, it's still too early. I don't know why. Like, Star Wars is something that they needed to start to get people on the same page. They needed to get everybody understanding what kind of Star Trek, what kind of Star Wars movie they were going to be getting, that it was going to be practical, that it was going to be harkening back to the original trilogy, you know, and while still showing some of the new stuff. But if you watch it, it wasn't really a teaser trailer. We never got an idea of the story. We just got a couple of quick glimpses of certain things and then a great shot at the end. But it had no storyline to it. It was more of an announcement teaser. And so it made sense for Star Wars to have a trailer. I mean, preferably I would rather them not release a trailer back then, but they did anyway. I'm the type of person, I want to see that momentum start to build up. And so Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice doing a trailer release in February would line up with the Star Wars time frame, because they released a trailer for their movie at the end of November, which was 13 months away from their release. Releasing a trailer for Batman v Superman in February is 13 months away from their release. So the time frame makes sense following along with what Star Wars did. The problem I have with it is that Batman v Superman, they're not relaunching a universe. This is going to really help kickstart their new DC cinematic universe. But they've already established the look and feel of it with Man of Steel. And with Man of Steel, they had a trailer released a year before the movie came out. Why? Because it was relaunching. It was a new version of Superman. It was a new version of this universe. Now, something along the lines of Fantastic Four or anything like that, we haven't seen a single thing from it. Whereas with Batman v Superman, almost 2 years out from its release, we got a shot of Batman, his new suit. We got a shot of his new Batmobile. We got a shot at Comic-Con of Wonder Woman. What Wonder Woman is going to look like in the movie. So we already have stuff that we've seen, albeit the little clip that they showed, but even if they didn't show that clip, we've already got things from it. We've got a logo, something Fantastic Four can't say. Star Wars already has a logo as well. Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about Fantastic Four in this one. But to me, personally, it doesn't make sense for them to release a trailer right now. The proper momentum for this would be to have their first trailer revealed at Comic-Con in July, followed with an online release of that trailer possibly 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later or something along those lines. Have the second trailer come out in October, November. That's about 2 to 3 months, or 3 to 3.5 months away from the first trailer. And you're now starting to build that momentum. Then you can have your final trailer in January or February, possibly lining in with the Super Bowl, leading into the release in March, at the end of March of 2016. That builds a steady set of momentum for this movie. It gets people jazzed about it, instead of seeing a trailer for it now and waiting 5 months to see another trailer that's actually going to be what should be the teaser trailer. Because again, July is 5 months, 6 months away from now. They don't need a trailer right now. That being said, there is a new rumor that came out this morning, and it even says in the article that was found, because somebody posted on Reddit an image here, and I'll see if I can bring it up here. It's a little blurry, so it's probably not going to look right on the TV behind me, but this was a graphic that was put up online, I believe, either last night or this morning, and it shows Batman v Superman Part 1, Enter the Night, in October 23rd of this year. Part 2 being Dawn of Justice, releasing in March of 2016. Now, that has been something that people have been speculating for almost a year. That either Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and I even speculated on this several months ago, that when they brought Chris Terrio in and they delayed the release date, the reason being that it could be is that they were splitting it into 2 films. Either that, or they were filming this and Justice League back to back. Because remember, the movie shot for like 10 months. It started filming in March, I believe. It was either February or March of 2014 that it started filming. Forgetting the little football game they filmed on a weekend. But they started in February or March of 2014, and they only finished in November or December of 2014. So that is a very long shooting schedule for a single movie. Now, I said on the show before, Superman Returns, the one that Bryan Singer did with Brendan Routh, that film had like an 8 or 9 month shooting schedule. King Kong, done by Peter Jackson, had like an 8 or 9 month shooting schedule. There are chances that this movie just could have been shooting just this movie. But I am under the impression, I don't like the title. I don't like Enter the Night. I don't like, I know that they've said that part of the movie is going to be, it is still going to be a Superman film, but they are really going to focus on Batman. And they even said that when the first description of the first trailer came out a couple months ago that was supposedly going to be shown in front of The Hobbit, I never put any stock into that. It did say that it was going to be a Batman-centric trailer. So it leads, there's credence there. There's proof there, or at least evidence there, that something might be happening. And I'm actually keeping an eye on my Twitter feed right now just to see if any more information about this is coming out, because I have a couple of people right now who are looking into it. But not only that, El Mayimbe himself from Latino Review are currently, the guys at Latino Review are looking into this rumor. So, and I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple of people that I know that are not involved in the project, but they're in that area. You know, they're in LA, they're doing all that kind of stuff. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. But as it stands right now, this is still a hot rumor. And it adds weight to the fact that we're getting a trailer. I still don't know if this is true, because we've had so much back and forth with Batman v Superman. I want it to be true. Obviously, I want the movie to come out sooner. I think that with the amount of information that we've gotten and the amount of characters that are in the movie and the scope of this story and what it's going to be setting up, I think leads to a 2-film arc. I think you need 2 films to tell the story properly, to involve all the characters, unless you're just going to have one sequence that's going to have one of the characters and another sequence going to have another character. It's a very minor sequence and then not show them again. That's fine, as long as it serves the story. And if you're going to try to cram that into a 2-hour and 20-minute film, which a single superhero film, I don't think they're going to try to get any longer than 2 hours and 20 minutes. So maybe doing an hour and 45-minute or an hour and 50-minute split and having an extra hour of content there instead of cramming it into a 2.5-hour movie, it makes sense. And it also keeps in with the 2015 release that they originally wanted. It will bring 2015, I think, back into being one of the powerhouse years of film release, although 2016 is looking extremely packed right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is legitimate? Do you think this could happen? I don't know. I kind of want it to now after hearing about this. I don't like the title, but having part 1 release in October and then 6 months later having part 2 released, and then 6 months later having, or not even 6 months later, it's like 4.5, 5 months later, releasing Suicide Squad, you get a good momentum built up with your DC universe, and having boom, 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 hitting really hard, followed up with, I think Wonder Woman is the next movie after that, then Justice League Part 1. I mean, you really will get a roll going. So I'm really, really excited for this. I do kind of hope that it turns out to be true now. I mean, oh God, what if it was true? What if we were getting, in this year, what if we were getting Avengers Age of Ultron and Batman v Superman and Star Wars like we were originally promised? And then getting the tail end of Batman v Superman only a few months later. Followed up a few months later by Suicide Squad, which was just recently confirmed that Viola Davis is in fact playing Amanda Waller. So this is a very exciting time to be a DC fan, especially seeing if this is true. Oh, this is going to be a powerhouse. I'm excited for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you think this is possible, if you think this is the right decision for them to make, if you think this is just a whole bunch of hot smoke, whatever the case is. Let me know in the comment section below. But when we do get confirmation or updates about this property, I will definitely update you guys on here. It looks as though Kong Skull Island is adding yet another amazing actor to its lineup. It looks as though we're getting Michael Keaton close to signing on to this film. Now, if that is the case, we will have Tom Hiddleston, J.K. Simmons, and Michael Keaton involved in Kong Skull Island. This movie is really shaping up to be something unique. I mean, the casting alone, you have J.K. Simmons right now, who is the front runner for Best Supporting Actor for Whiplash, which he is amazing in that movie. Like, my favorite shot, this isn't spoiling anything, but my favorite shot, or favorite part of him in the movie, is near the end when he comes on stage and he goes, "What do you think, I'm an idiot?" And like that whole transition right there, like it's fundamentally unbelievable. If you haven't watched Whiplash, you got to check it out. But you have him on top of that. You have Michael Keaton. You have Batman himself fighting Kong. I mean, how crazy would that be? Like, I was watching, I don't know if it was Schmoes Know or if it was AMC Movie Talk, but Christian Harloff goes, "Hey, guys, is that Nate behind me? You see Nate behind me?" Like, he did his Michael Keaton impersonation. And I want that in Kong Skull Island. I really think it could work. I mean, it would be, in all honesty, it wouldn't work. I just think it would be hilarious. Maybe like a Funny or Die video. I think that would be really great. And I think Michael Keaton would be down for something like that. But this is really starting to get me excited for this movie. I mean, Tom Hiddleston alone, I thought was, okay, that's kind of cool. You know, he's trying to branch out from Marvel. Then you get J.K. Simmons, where I was like, all right, you know, this is really starting to sound really good. I mean, he is involved in Terminator Genesis, which I'm still excited for, but I've heard some not so great things about it. Although more recently, there's the writers of the movie just signed, I believe it was either a 2-year or a 4-year deal with Skydance Pictures to write new movies, which that shows confidence that the production studio likes what they've done. But up until now, I mean, Michael Keaton, at least recently, hasn't been just signing on to movies just because he wants to be in a movie. He's actually been picking really good roles. A lot of people were really scared about RoboCop, and I thought RoboCop was actually a very good film. It was different. It showed that there was a difference in this movie compared to the original. It wasn't just a shot-for-shot remake. It wasn't just a story remake. They actually took certain concepts from the original and then adapted it in modern times. And his character, I think, played really well because he wasn't necessarily a villain. You know, he was just the head of a company who was trying to do the right thing for his company. It was very different from how they portrayed the same type of character in the original. And him coming on board this type of a movie, I think, really shows signs that this movie is something to be on the lookout for. On top of that, the director, Justin Vogt-Roberts, actually went on Twitter when somebody said that, I forget what the exact tweet was, but it was something along the lines of, wow, this is a crazy, you know, it's crazy that you got him. This trio is going to be amazing. And in response to that, he said, what was it exactly? He says, "I'm just getting started." Now, whether or not that's just blowing smoke or if he is actually legitimate, and we have some really cool casting announcements coming out for this film, because it doesn't come out until March of 2017, so we still have some time. You know, it still has over 2 years away. They're probably going to start to need to shoot the film sometime this summer, because this is going to be obviously a very effects-heavy film. So they're going to need to start shooting by the summertime. I'm really excited for this. I mean, just imagine Michael Keaton and J.K. Simmons involved in a King Kong-like area. Just imagine that. I mean, these two very serious, very talented actors bringing weight and gravitas to this fantastical situation. I really think it could really work. I really do. I know I'm saying really a lot, but still. It still hasn't been said what time frame the movie is set in. If it's going to be a period piece, if it's going to be set in modern day, if it's going to be set in the future. I personally believe that it is going to be set in modern day, just from some of the comments that have been made about the movie. It's an expedition and all that kind of stuff. I know that was the storyline of the original, but I am getting the feeling this is going to be more of a modern day set film, because Legendary is doing this movie, and I think that their end goal is to have some kind of a mashup between either King Kong and Godzilla, which I think would be the end all be all, or involving Kong somehow in a Pacific Rim movie, because Legendary owns the rights to all of those movies. So it would be, I think, really cool to see them try to do something in modern day. The last time we saw that was the Jeff Bridges movie back in the 70s, even though that's not modern day. At the time it was. So As it stands right now, the movie is set for a March 2017 release date. I can't remember the exact date. I think it's like the 23rd or somewhere around that date. But more importantly, what do you guys think about this casting decision? I want to know whether or not you think that he is a good fit for this movie, because I personally think that Michael Keaton can't do any wrong right now. He's just got such an amazing energy, and he's got a lot of charisma, and people really just like to watch him. If you haven't seen Birdman, you got to watch Birdman. I mean, the whole movie is all done as one shot. And it's on him for the majority of the film, except for the scenes on the rooftop with his daughter and Edward Norton. But still, this is just great news. I'm really excited for it. More importantly, what do you guys think? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think this is going to work? Are you excited for Kong? Let me know in the comment section below. And if we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. Liam Neeson is back with an all-new set of skills in not a new Taken movie, but in the trailer for the upcoming film Run All Night, which is his re-teaming with his director of Nonstop and Unknown, Joam Collet-Serra. And the one thing that I have to, with the exception of Unknown, I did not like Unknown. There was one of the two, actually now 3 films that I've fallen asleep in the theater with. And it to me was exactly Taken meets Bourne Identity. There was a sequence of him on the side of what looked to be a white concrete building, crawling across the bricks that were all along the side of the building, just like he did in Bourne Identity and just like he did in Taken. So to me, it was one of the most boring action films ever, and I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep for a good 45 minutes in the movie, in the theater, and so I wasn't really happy with that. But Nonstop, on the other hand, I actually really enjoyed Nonstop. I thought it was actually a really well-crafted movie. I really like those tight-knit thrillers, ones that are set in not necessarily small spaces, but ones where the confined feeling, and I really do like that. This movie obviously doesn't suffer from that. But Run All Night actually is something that looks really interesting to me. It looks like it's going to be a more not realistic, but more of a dramatic version of John Wick. If you took the storyline of John Wick and added, and made it less of an action film and more of a drama, then I think you would have this movie, because John Wick to me is one of the most fun movies of 2014. If you guys haven't checked it out, I believe it's coming out on Blu-ray and video on demand soon. So I definitely recommend to check it out. It's just a hell of a lot of fun. And this movie looks like it's going to be the more serious version. Now, that being said, there are a lot of cliches in the trailer. You get the corrupt cops. He has this strange son who doesn't like him anymore, but yet is still involved in some kind of nefarious tasks. And the really cool concept to me, though, comes from the fact that, he's an aging hitman. Liam Neeson plays an aging hitman who is... His best friend is basically the head of the mob, and they've been friends for decades, for 20, 30 years. And it starts off with Ed Harris' character, who plays the mob boss, basically saying that nobody out there cared about you, except for me. I was the only one who did, and because he's the mob boss, he was able to protect him. He was able to secure him. He said, all that ended an hour ago when you killed my son. And the reason that he killed his son, it's all explained in the trailer, but the reason that he killed his son was because Ed Harris' son was actually going to kill Liam Neeson's son. And so he had to defend his son. So that now caused a war. And he said, listen, he's a good kid. He has a family. Don't let this spill onto him. It wasn't his fault, yada, yada, yada. We still don't know the exact reasons as to why Ed Harris' son was going to kill Liam Neeson's. But Ed Harris then says, I'm going to take out your boy. I'm paraphrasing here. He goes, I'm going to take out your boy. I'm going to take out your boy's family. And then once all of that is done, I'm going to let you die. Which I'm almost want to say that was an actual line of sorts in John Wick. I'm pretty sure that was one of the sections of the movie. And it just looks really, really fun. I mean, the storyline looks really cool. I love that shot in the trailer. I know it's just one shot, but the camera attached to the rifle when he's doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger flipping the rifle back up to reload it, and the camera's actually attached to it, so the camera's actually flipping up. I actually thought that was really cool. To me, this movie could bomb. It could be, the standard generic Liam Neeson movie. I want to see Liam Neeson and Jason Statham team up in a film, because I think those two would be really cool together. But I mean, it's got really unique looking action sequences. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a great supporting cast. I mean, you got Bruce McGill, you got Vincent D'Onofrio, even Common looks like he's going to be playing a fairly fun role in this movie. And say what you will about him, but I've actually, really liked him in a lot of his acting roles. I think he does a fairly decent job. He's no Denzel, he's no Academy Award level actor. He doesn't have the charisma of somebody like Will Smith or even some of the newcomers like Michael B. Jordan or anything like that. But I still think that, he's got a great presence on screen. I think it could really work. This movie most likely will be terrible. But they actually did bump it later on in the year. It was originally going to be opening up in February. And when Jupiter Ascending was moved to February from July of last year, they actually bumped this movie up into April. And so April is a more respectable release date. It is a time frame when a studio could look to make more money on their film. So pushing this movie to April instead of Jupiter Ascending shows to me two things. One, it shows that Warner Brothers is actually a little scared of Jupiter Ascending, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it is going to end up being a guilty pleasure. I already know that I'm probably going to love the film, but will recognize the fact that it will be terrible. It just looks really exciting. It looks like it has everything that a hard sci-fi action flick should have. My problem is with the Wachowskis. If the Wachowskis were able to write a story and then have a great screenwriter come in and actually adapt that into a full-fledged screenplay, or do their screenplay and then get somebody else to come in and redo the dialogue so that it actually makes sense and is not really corny and outdated, then they could have it a mega hit. This movie looks like they should have had somebody come in and touch up the dialogue, at least just everything that I've seen from it. But I'm really excited for it, and this just shows that they have more hope in this movie than they originally did. So I'm excited for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you haven't checked out the trailer for this movie, there is a link in the description of this video so that you guys can go and check it out. I don't care for the song that they chose, the Oh Danny Boy. I didn't personally care for that at all. They could have chosen a better song, but we're starting to notice that more and more in movies nowadays, where the music that they choose is unique and questionable at best. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you think this movie looks good, if you think it's just another generic Liam Neeson action film or anything of that sort, put a comment in the comment section. But if we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. And also, stay tuned for part 2 of Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun, which will be uploaded sometime later on today. So, like I said, if we get more information about this topic, Run All Night opens up on April 17th, 2015. But when we do get more, we will update you guys on here. That'll do it for part 1 of Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click the subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You can get updates whenever we post a new video. You can also follow me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also give us a like on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Movie News with Niklsun. Stay tuned later on today for the second part of Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. And if you guys ever have a topic, question, or comment you'd like to have addressed on this show, you can go ahead and put a comment in the comment section or email us at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com, and on every Friday episode we'll try to get to as many as we can. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.